We are very pleased to be partners in the IKAT project, the project in Southeast Asia, which is concentrating on textiles. This is the HAW College in Hamburg with the Campus Armgardstraße, textile design. So the IKAT project offers us an opportunity to look into textile techniques which are probably not so often taught here in the German context. We've looked into braiding, we have looked into certain embroidery techniques, and here we are looking into batik techniques. I have to say that so far I've never been teaching batik. In Germany, batik is very much, if you like, a young traveler's thing that was brought over to Europe with a DIY outlook, with the batik or the big bedding that was being tie-dyed in the bathrooms of the 1970s and 80s. And because batik is not traditionally rooted in a German textile context, I thought it would be very interesting to include it for once. And the IKAT project with sending Aprina Murwanti to us, to Hamburg, to give a workshop with batik, it was a wonderful opportunity for the students and myself to experience batik not only from a book, but also in practice as well, to have a hands-on workshop and also an exchange about the technique, what it is, what it might stand for. So we have a batik workshop for 3 days running. There are 9 participants in this workshop, and we have the dye workshop here, which is a wet room, so this is ideal to learn about batik. Also, to combine batik with natural dyes is something quite special to us, because in Germany, like in many other countries as well, the idea of natural dyeing has stopped somehow at the beginning of the 20th century, and a lot of the knowledge was lost. So the approach, how we approached the batik process was quite intuitive. Thinking about drawing, in the last semester we already had a little bit of introduction into batik, but in a very sort of kitchen-like way. We worked with little tea lights and with brushes as well to get an idea, because batik is not only batik, it's a reservation technique. So what does that mean if you reserve, if you cover certain areas of the fabric that wouldn't take the color then, if you dye them or if you color them any further? And what possibilities do you have? Because in a sense, batik is a very manual technique, it's a craft technique, a hand technique, where the hand and the drawings and the application of, if you like, the tools, which might be brushes or tiantings or anything else that you can apply the wax with, is very much, it's like a drawing instrument. And the manual and the craft together is something which has been pushed rather into the background within a German context. Germany, of course, is a country, post-war country of technology and engineers. So craft techniques didn't feature in such a high-ranking way. And for us, this shift and the transfer to maybe look into a technique which comes from somewhere quite different in the world, which batik is, it offers us and the students also an exchange with a different culture, with a different color scheme, with a different culture, with a different approach as well. With the possibility of a very professional batik workshop, it enriches the possibilities that our students have as well in terms of technique and in terms of application, to translate their ideas of pattern or their idea of mark making. Apart from weaving or dyeing or printing, we have this BATIK technique now as well, that the students can use making their work, but also including it into their work. I think the BATIK is very much an eye-opener and an enrichment as well, to work on quite particular pieces of fabric instead of simulating this technique. It's often being copied, for example, with printing. You have BATIK features or a BATIK outlook, but because it's too time-consuming or it's economically questionable maybe in these economies, it's not so easy nowadays to think about BATIK. But in this context, in an art and craft context and in an experimental context, I think it is very viable and a new asset to our students, which they have not had before.
Okay, hey, my name is Joana and I'm studying textile design in Hamburg. And last semester we did a quick little workshop considering BATIK, but we were taught by a German woman who studied a bit so we could get in touch with the topic, in little steps. And I really enjoyed it, and so I was glad that there was another workshop with Aprina and her friend Mona. So working with Indonesian tiantings was very great because you can do very thin and fine lines, but also sometimes the wax is just so hot that it spills out. But that's always something that's really fun in making designs, the mistakes happening because you're not used to the new technique. And then step by step coming together and finding something you can work with and just sticking to the traditional side from what making is about, but then also having the influence of what you've been doing the semesters before or what your favorite stuff is. Yeah, so I don't know whether you want to see some pieces. Yeah. So I really like working with lines and dots and just doing some artwork, and I try to stick to a bit of symbolism. That's why I drew moon and some stars, so I wanted it to be not just nice to look at, but also telling something. And this is just another piece that came to existence. It's not really traditional, but I think, it's just another way of interpreting. So you can work with the tianting on different fabrics like silk or cotton, and you can also work with different types of tianting. This was one with 3 lines, and this was with 1, and it's just really great that you can find your own way, because you can basically do everything. Work with stems, not work with stems, work free, work based on tradition. And it was really fun to make new friends and to make new experiments, and I think that this is definitely something that I can use considering my bachelor, and I'm very thankful for this, and I'm really looking forward if we meet up again, or as you're very inspired by this workshop, you start thinking about going to Indonesia to completely hop into the topic and get even more inspired. So thank you.
I'm Paulina, studying textile design in the HAV, it's the Hochschule für Angewandte Wissenschaften in Hamburg, and I took part in this BATIK workshop from Aprina, and I didn't really expect something, because I was just I will see, and let's surprise me, and I was really surprised, and I didn't know BATIK before, I didn't do it at all. In Germany, BATIK is something you also do at some kids do it, but it's not BATIK like BATIK we did. It's something like tie-dye, and I thought maybe it's like that, but now I learned that it's much more with the wax, and it was really nice to learn this, and it was really nice also to learn the stuff with the natural dyes. It was really surprising the results because, for example, I didn't bring it, but there was something I dyed and then it was beige, something like beige, and then we put it somewhere, Aprina told us, and it went black, and it went really, and yeah, it did some like more graphical, more, yeah, like something like this. Or I also did experiment with brush, and it turned out like this. Some horizontal, vertical. And yeah, there's the wax still on it. And yeah, I'm surprised how it's gonna get out, how the color will turn. Here, that's very experimental. It's my first piece, and I just tried everything, like some with the canting and with brush, and yeah, a lot of different things. Yeah, and I find this technique very, very interesting, and I think it will influence my future work, but I don't know yet in which kind, but it was really fun, so I want to try something with it and with the technique in my future.
My name is I'm a textile designer in Hamburg, freelance textile designer and stylist for photo production, set designer, and I'm involved in the project IKAT since the very beginning as a project coordinator in Germany.
They use wax stamp, stamping, they use stamp as well, but they add something to their textile. So they add like hand stitching technique prior wax removal process, so the trace of the stitch will stay after the fabric finish. They also use applique technique, so they put overlapping batik and then they stitch it. And this is the result after hundreds of stamp and champings. So they not only dye the fabric 1 or 2 times, they do like for 3 months, 100 times. So it will have layers of color. This one is their work as well. We can see that it's not only have 1 or 3 colors, we even cannot trace which one first applied for the stamp and the champing. They use the batik for their installation.
And I'm very happy that we have Aprina Murwanti as a guest for the workshop here at the Ammann within our project, and I think in general workshops like this are very great opportunity to get involved into one topic in a very intense way, because it's like a really short time and you work on one thing only and get really good insight in one process. In this case we have the batik, working with wax and natural dyes, and what I remember in my student time, I always enjoyed workshops like this very much, because you get started with something and you also get to finish something, and it's always great outcomes. So for the students I see it also as a very great possibility. For me personally, I'm happy that I participate, because I was already for quite a while very interested in natural dyes and how it works with all the ingredients you need so it stays on the fabric, and which ingredient gives which color. So I'm also quite curious. I haven't process yet what the outcome will be, and I'm sure that for my further practice with textiles, I'm aiming to start dyeing my materials by myself. That's something I already have in mind for a longer time. For now, I use already pre-dyed materials for my work, and what else?
Okay, hi, my name is Jula. I'm studying textile design in the 5th semester right now, and I participate on the BATIK workshop. Yes, so far, last semester I started with BATIK, but it was completely different, and now I really appreciate to learn also the dyeing techniques with natural fabrics, and yes, and now I have some, this is just some experiments I did on paper, and so I started with the chanting, but then I discovered some structures, and I just put it on the paper and painted with wax through it, and I really the structure. So this is what I experimented on, and this is on paper, and I translated on fabrics. What I really like is learning all the traditional techniques and mixing it up with my feeling for design, and so I like more clean structures and very reduced patterns. So but the combination with the old traditional technique from Indonesia, with combining with the Western or my style, is really fascinating, and is that what always inspired me, combining the traditional techniques with the modern way of thinking through design is what I'm always very passionate about, and what inspires me, and I like to combine them two once. Yes, and I really, about the workshop maybe, I didn't know that it would be so deep somehow, because we started with batik, it was just only wax, with a candle, and translated to paper or to pattern, and I continue my semester works with another chanting, but this one is much more difficult, and this is what I really appreciate, because now I know, or have it, I think I'm aware of how much work it is to create a traditional pattern.
My name is Soffia. I'm a textile student in the 2nd semester here in Hamburg at the HW. And today I joined the BATIK workshop, which was my first time batiking. And I really didn't have that much expectations, like high expectations. But the workshop turned out to be really interesting. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and we learned really a lot of techniques, what I didn't expect, and that was really fun and extremely interesting. And I think I'm going to use it in my work that I'm going to do next. And what I did here is I batik with natural fruit. I think it was a fruit.
fruit, yeah, and it's black. And I tried, after I learned the different techniques, I tried to find kind of my own technique, and I put things underneath the fabric and then I brushed over it. So I got different textures out of it. So this is the share in the room. Yeah. And this was crushing, a technique we learned here. What else?
I didn't do BATIK before, but I did something, I don't know if it's BATIK too, tying fabrics to have these typical circles on shirts. But I didn't know it was about drawing with wax. But actually, because of that, and because of dyeing with natural colors, it felt much more like a cultural exchange to me than I had expected. Because I also didn't know that we would dye with natural colors, and I think that's really interesting. It's more abstract. Here when I tried to do more floral patterns, I kind of destroyed them, so I didn't continue with that. But I really liked when the wax was too hot and really soaked into the fabric and made these big dots, and also here the lines, I think they're nicer when it's a little too hot. Yeah.
I don't know, pretty good actually. And here I cracked it too, and those I also cracked like this, but you can't see it that good. And I think it's because of the difference of the materials. Maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is yours as well?
Yes. Here I tried different colors, but I wanted to have it more black, but it turned out
the brown. Yeah.
Just one the same.
And is what you use the drips?
Yes.
Yeah, from the channel.
I really like it if it's like random, something happening, like this one or those. Yeah.
Which one?
I think it looks like matches.
Oh yeah.
It's
true.
Oh,
yeah. Why you like these two pieces?
I like the color very much, and how the white part is like very
contrast.
Yeah, strong contrast to the dark brown. Yes. And this is there was just trying to make stripes and like mix it.
Very happy to be here. Yeah.
Thank you for your visit and everything you taught us. It's really immense, and I think we all enjoyed it very much and would be glad whenever you're in Hamburg and out of whatever reason, just come join us anytime, and really looking forward.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the very warm welcoming. Yeah, and sorry for the sore throat for the whole week. You never heard my real voice, maybe someday in the future, but yeah, through visual we can communicate, so yes. All awesome, and I really adore all of your works. You are amazing students. Yeah. It's impressive. Yeah. Yeah, it's blow my mind. It's like I never expect the result is like this, especially when you enjoy natural colors. So yeah, I jealous to you because you have such amazing students. Yeah. Yeah. Now I will see how further you take the knowledge from tradition. Yeah, very honored to do this. Yeah. My name is Aprina Murwanti. I came from Indonesia. I'm a visual artist, also researcher. I work for several universities and also institutions in Indonesia. What brings me here is actually Goethe Institut Slow Fashion Lab exhibition that held by Goethe Institut Jakarta. So Goethe Institut in Jakarta asked me to come to Hamburg to have a lecture in slow textile, which is batik, and I accept the invitation, and then I offer whether we will have also workshop together with the lecture. And luckily, Hamburg University of Applied Science accepted my request, and they are glad to have me as a lecturer in their studio. So I really like how the workshop turned out. It's like everyone used chanting, everyone used chop in their own perspective. That Western perspective exchange the way our culture reflects on batik. I also see that there's connection between Germany and Indonesia through using similar technique but then different visualization. So I think in the future maybe will be collaborative project like art project between two countries with diplomacy and freedom in making art, to making stronger connection between Indonesia in Germany in particular and also Europe and Asia in general.